Welcome back to Close Encounters of the Tech Kind. I'm on location in yet another remote location. It's a fantastic time out here. Got my hard hat on because I'm getting in and out of the car working on some connectivity issues out here. It's great. We're going to be talking cybersecurity, guys, because it's kind of a thing. Got to keep this one short, unfortunately. So we'll probably stitch on or stitch on a legacy video from our archives to the end of this. Stick around for that. We got some good content. But yeah, Jackson, Mike, you ready to talk some cybersecurity?
Yes, absolutely.
Ooh, you betcha.
Very cool.
Hey, he's from Minnesota, don't you know?
Oh, sure. Let's talk a little bit of
Some of the people I'm working
cybersecurity.
with right now are Minnesotans, so that's awesome.
Yeah, well, what you
So
got?
we've got a couple incidents that we've helped people through at the company, but I wanted to talk industrial automation, water, wastewater, critical infrastructure, oil and gas, that kind of thing. It's more vulnerable than we thought. Even today, there's PLCs that are live on the internet or through a non-password protected remote desktop session. Not Microsoft, but like a Team Viewer or a VNC viewer. It's still out there, guys.
Well, honestly, I'm surprised that more of them haven't been exploited yet, right? Because I mean, there's all sorts of bots that are out there scraping to find these open ports and stuff. And so I'm surprised that they haven't gotten in and done more damage.
That's a good thought, because if we're finding them, if Shodan has them, you'd think the bad guys would have them.
Yeah.
But I got into a conversation with somebody just recently. And they were saying, okay, so somebody got into my oil and gas system, and he said, what can they do? Turn off the wells? Turn them on? Like, open a valve? What's the real damage here?
Right. It may just be that they actually don't even know what it is that they have per se, right? Because I mean, I'm not sure how obvious it is. They may not even know how to capitalize on it. That's not to undermine the importance of securing that, but it could be that, some of these systems aren't getting exploited because they just haven't quite figured out how to make a profit off of it. But that could change in a matter of days.
The piece that I add to the conversation when I talk to people is say, we're just a ranch with cows and horses. What does that matter? They get into our oil field, they turn off and on things again. Do you know how long it takes to set up a PLC controller, a programmable logic controller?
Oh, it takes an eternity.
So if instead of the hackers turning on and off things, what if they just format the PLC?
No.
Yeah.
That sounds like a nightmare.
There's exposure that people don't realize is exposed. There's problems that people don't think. And that's where us in the industry, we need to be thinking for everybody. We need to bring this to everybody's attention of, like, it's not that you're a ranch protecting horses and livestock. It's you have a bank account attached to your system. That's what needs to be protected.
Yeah, but I have to think that, some of those PLCs that you're talking about, how many of those are safeguards against something else happening? I mean, it's a logic controller. It's basically taking some kind of an input and then performing an action based on that input, right? Aren't some of those inputs, like, if too much, shut off, or if not enough, turn on, kind of a thing?
Oh, it's It's deep. So let's talk. If you got a pH sensor at your water plant,
Mhm.
okay, so that pH sensor gives you hopefully 7, right? That's the pH of water. It's actually different than that, but if you got a pH that goes out of range, how do you know it's out of range? It's because that instrument that's sensing it is calibrated. So
Mhm.
you can mess with the calibrations. You can mess with the voltage that's going to the thing. You can mess with the sense. You could mess with the differential that you got to program in for that instrument. Say, it's not this range. It's actually up here for the calibration. You could switch it from metric to imperial. You could so many little idiosyncrasies you can change before you even get to the input cables to the PLC. It's fragile. It's good. Once it's up and running, you don't touch it and it works great. But I think that the call to action here for us and for everybody listening is don't let people make light of security.
Right. Change
And I
the
don't want this
default
to be the doom and gloom.
passwords. Yeah, I mean, I think it's because
this is where we got to
there's
educate. Go ahead, Mike.
yeah, there's so many people that when you just talked about how setting up a PLC takes a significant amount of effort. So I can see on one side of it that to make the job easier, you might not change default passwords or credentials or something like that. I mean, there are systems that we're into for doing our work that for me to get into the system, it almost takes me longer to get into the system than it does to do the thing I need to do. Like I need to change a configuration on this account. Well, to do that, I have my two-factor, I have to verify the email, I have to then log into another system to get a password or a code or something like the hoops that I have to jump through just to get to that configuration. It can take me up to 30 seconds. And then once I'm there, I spend 2 seconds to make the configuration change and I'm done. And a lot of people would look at that and go, that's not a very efficient process. Again, with security, we always talk about it's a trade-off between efficiency and convenience and security. You can't always have both. In fact, very seldom can you have both. So if it's a critical system, you're going to have to give up that convenience. You're going to have to bite the bullet, change those default passwords, make sure that the passwords are locked up secure, make sure it's on a need to know basis, that only the access is restricted to only those who need it. And you're just going to have to live life that way because then you're safeguarded against something bad happening. You don't want a catastrophic event to be the result of your convenience.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't know how many people are even asking that question though, right? When somebody, a business owner or a CEO says, "Hey, let's set this up," you know, how often do you think they even ask that question about cybersecurity, right? I think it's certainly being asked more now than ever, but I don't think it's anywhere near where it should be. Um, because really, honestly, when you think about it, like I myself was running into this. I was setting up some stuff here at my house, and it's like half the time I'm doing it, half the time I was spending on it was just making sure I wasn't, exposing myself at all, right? It's just setting up passwords, changing passwords, and then, making sure firewalls are set correctly. Like there's so much that goes into cybersecurity, and it feels like you're just spending money on insurance, right? I feel like that's an easy way to think of it and kind of just throw it all in that. It's like, well, why am I spending this much on insurance? Like, let's just be efficient. Let's just get the job done, right?
Well, and think of it this way. I mean, how much time and effort does it take to set it up in the first place? To get it just working? I mean, half your life setting that thing up, you almost feel like you're a hacker trying to break things because you can't make it work.
Right.
Sometimes I'll I'll tell friends and family like, "Oh yeah, I totally just hacked into this thing." They're like, "Why?" And I was like, "Well, it's mine.
Yep.
It was mine to begin with. I just
It's mine, and I couldn't get it to work.
That's pretty much how it
Your
goes.
Walmart and Amazon's product has done the ransom for you.
Pretty much.
So it's one of those that I definitely want to have the conversation because um, having the having as many interfaces as we've had with customers and just people in general, there's such a minimizing effect, and I think insurance is where your analogy really kicks in because oh, I'm not really going to get in a car accident. I'm a good driver. I don't plan on having a flood. I don't live near a river.
Sounds like Noah in the Ark. I don't live anywhere. There's no flood that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I love
it's
those mayhem commercials.
Yeah.
Right. Who's it Allstate that does those? Those are pretty good.
So what was it? I'm a teenage girl that has just received a breakup notice from my friend. I'm too distraught. He's just driving through a parking lot, smashing into all the cars, texting on his phone.
right.
That's what the internet looks like in the background.
The internet's the best and worst thing we've ever done as a society. I think education is where my mind is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking back, like, some of the customers that we've onboarded, and it's just shocking to find out, like, okay, so everybody logs onto their computer the exact same way with the exact same password. Like, really? Wow. Okay. That's interesting. Not super secure, but very interesting, and it's like
It's so hard.
how some of these people haven't had like a major event already, in some cases. Like, yeah, we've been fine for 20 years and it's just always the way we've done things. And it's like, well, time to change things.
Yeah, and we've got some key examples of customers that have taken a little bit of education to get there. But I think probably the best thing we could do, Jackson, what has been your experience with your generation? Like, is cybersecurity a thing? Is it? Do people want to know? Do they just assume AI's got my back, or I use Google, so I'm
I
safe?
That's a good question, and I feel like when I try and think about, like, across the board, because right now I'm surrounded by a lot of computer engineers, a lot of people that are generally cybersecurity minded. But now that I'm thinking about it, I remember having some specific conversations with a few people who are doing a lot of these. I mean, they're into the networking world, right? But they still don't know, like, a lot of the dangers around cybersecurity, or like what to look out for. And he's like, "Oh yeah, I just opened up this port on my." I was like, "Why?" I was like, "Did you need to do that?" And, just just going on, and I hear about these things. I'm like, that's not a good idea. Like, you should totally put this behind, a firewall, put it behind, VPN and all these different things." And so I feel like there's still a very big gap between where we should be and where we are. And that's even people who are in, this world, of this tech world. Outside of that, I feel like most people, their general understanding of cybersecurity is I change my password once every 6 months, but they still don't even do that.
Oh, I've got great news on that one. NIST has updated their guidelines for passwords.
Oh, really? What's the new guideline?
You don't need to change it every 30 days.
Every
Thank goodness.
15?
It should be long, and you don't need symbols and numbers. Just make it long. Like
Well, so
45
what was
or
the
XKCD
50 characters long.
XKCD already figured that one out. Like, how many years has it been now?
Well, I mean, in their defense, it is the speed of government.
Right.
Now, the
but I
funny part
mean,
was, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say that that's valid until you have a password leak, right? So I feel like you should start there, but then I mean, maybe just make a habit of checking. Have I been pwned, or these websites that will show you like what passwords have been leaked, right? Because even though your password might be 50 characters long, as soon as that's leaked, well, then it's useless, right?
Yeah, all it takes is
Was it?
typing that password into the fake login page that you got duped into because your UPS package was lost and you got an email or something like that. I mean, you're absolutely right. It's still a good idea to rotate those passwords.
Yeah, the best thing is just have a password keeper that monitors the dark web.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Cool.
You
I
know
didn't mean
any
that to
that
be a mic
do?
drop moment, but okay.
You know any that do monitor the dark web?
Yeah, and it's not that they watch the dark web; it's that they harvest passwords that are in active leaks. Google will actually flag you and say, "Hey, this has been published."
Mhm.
Not advocating Google's password manager, but it's good. Don't use your web browser to save passwords. Use the password manager. Use a different one. There's a number of them. Just make sure that make sure it's peer reviewed. LastPass was great until it wasn't.
The more I keep hearing about the LastPass thing, the more I'm wondering why they haven't been dissolved as a company.
You got to read
Yeah,
the
the
fine print.
fact that I've heard their name so much just is not great.
That was years ago, wasn't it?
Couple years.
Couple years now. I mean, we're still talking about it.
Well, no, it was right about the same right about the start of this podcast. So a year and a half.
Really?
Late
Here's one for you.
2020.
How do you
That you
feel
can
about
do.
how do you feel about hosting your own password manager? Because I believe the actual Bitwarden, their infrastructure is actually there is an open source stem from it or something like that. Does that ring a bell, you guys?
This sounds like a possibility. I haven't looked into it. I
So
don't
I've
know.
heard of a
I-
couple people that are hosting their own, and they say it's using something that Bitwarden uses or an open source version of it. And what
Bitwarden.
are your thoughts on that?
I looked into doing that actually for us
Mhm.
because trusting the cloud. Okay, that's a little weird. The LastPass hack that got me into thinking. Okay, do we want to keep our password manager in the cloud and accessible on all devices, or do we want to host it ourselves? Well, the level of complexity goes way up. You gotta check your connection to the site. You gotta make sure that you can connect without the need of a password manager. Because if your password's saved in the manager, but you can't get to the manager because it's offline because the VPN's not connected, it gets very nuancy very quick. And then you gotta, if you want to feel like a hacker, do it on your own. Because you're going to be going through all the permutations. Does this work? Does this work? How do I open up this port? How does my cell phone connect to things? Can I do two-factor authentication against it? Where's the
Mhm.
authentication point for that? And it's just, yes, you can. And I think it's awesome that people can do that because that keeps these big companies honest, right?
Mhm.
You've got an engaged community that's testing and verifying it every step of the way. It's the closed source stuff that scares me. Not to mention some of these semis driving by right now. This is fun. I keep looking around because, I got to worry about, do I have to beep the horn because somebody's going to back into me?
Right.
May not have chosen the best spot to park. But hey, I'm not going to let this podcast die because I'm close to dying too. Bad analogy. Sorry. Where were we?
I don't know how I feel about that.
Talking
John.
about cyber breaches, not vehicle breaches. So yeah,
don't breach my car.
right.
So I think probably the best thing is education, and just you can't set it and forget it. I hope that's not trademarked.
It was,
Once upon a time, I
Okay.
think it was.
but Popeil is
I
no
hope that
longer with
trademark's
us.
worn out. You can't just install it and assume it's fine. You got to make sure it's updating. You got to make sure that there's no known vulnerabilities. The more complicated your life is, the more vulnerabilities there are. Now, another one that I saw was smart homes. Saw this on the Today Show, actually. There's a decline in the number of smart homes. People are ripping out the smart enabled pieces.
Took them that long?
Is it is it the fact of making it a smart home, or is it the fact that it's connected to the cloud and to the internet? I mean, what makes a smart home a smart home?
It's that any of those tech features that make life easier, like, hey, smart home, turn on my light, or hey, smart home, set a reminder for me, or all those little things that have been sold as quote unquote smart home add-ons. People are looking to see who made this, because some of these manufacturers are starting to disappear.
Mm-hmm.
So
I
then their
mean,
smart home stops working.
Yeah, I love the idea of being able to control the lights in my house from my desktop computer or my laptop computer, or even from my smartphone. I am not interested in anything, though, that requires me to have some kind of a cloud account to be able to do that. And some of the things I've even looked into, I got some programmable RGB lights, and I signed in to play with it and to do like programming with it, to write actual Python programs to be able to mess with them. But to do that, I had to sign into the developers portal for the manufacturer, which tells me that all of my requests and the library I'm using, it's going out to their cloud service first and then coming back to my network to send the right code to the light. Or at the very least, I have to identify the lights by going out to the cloud first and then coming back into my network, and then maybe at that point, then I can get a direct peer-to-peer connection to the lights or something like that. But just the fact that I have to have an account somewhere else to be able to turn my lights on and off, like that's ridiculous. I should be able to, if it plugs in and if it has like the ability to get on my network, and I can lock down my network from anybody else, but still maintain that control peer-to-peer over my network. That's great. I like that. Cloud? No. Because it's like I say, like that's making it more complex. That's opening up more points of failure where somebody could get in. Somebody could hack the cloud. Somebody could steal the passwords. Somebody else over there might not have configured something right, and that becomes a vulnerability into my network. So I understand where people are coming from. That if this is what a smart home means, if it means being connected to the cloud, then I'd probably rip mine out too.
Wondering if we'll ever get to the point where the advertising switches from manage it on your phone with the app and the cloud interface to There is no cloud interface. You can do it all, locally. I'm waiting for that switch to happen because
And watch the sales
uh,
go up. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah. But I think it's going to take people getting smart and understanding what's going on and realizing that these cloud services are garbage and they're an info stealer and a money stealer. So
And that's the
can't
other
wait
part
for
is
people to start selling products like we used to.
Maybe that's the juxtaposition. It's either going to take a keen understanding of the cybersecurity and the threat that the cloud account the op
Oh, we
Oh,
lost him.
I think we lost John.
I think he got hit by a semi.
Knocked Starlink out of
He's left me on the edge of my
alignment.
seat. I was wanting to know what happened next.
Yeah.
Well, one of the beauties of technology is that it works when we want it to, and it doesn't work when we want it to. So,
It's an equal opportunity, isn't it?
yep.
Well, those are my 2 cents at least. I'm ready for the cloud services to be over with and just sell me the product. Send it with all the code it needs to run and if it's not ready, then don't release it.
Right. And yeah, and I agree with John that, we need to educate people. It's not a set it and forget it. Take the time to understand what it is you're buying, understand how to set it up, and know what the settings are and how they work.
Yeah.
A lot of times, the defaults are good for getting it working, but as far as the security goes, look into that security and make sure that the defaults are good enough or can be improved upon. You can always set something a little bit better than the defaults. And for heaven's sake, change the password on your routers and your gateways and everything. When you buy these things and they come with it printed on the sticker, I mean, somebody somewhere has a list of those passwords. And even from a physical security standpoint, I mean, if it's out in the open, that means somebody could just pick it up, look at it, and if you haven't changed that password, they could log in and start messing with your network. So,
and usually those
physical security is just as important as the actual cybersecurity part of it too. So,
yeah. And I think those are especially vulnerable too because I mean usually those don't have a lot of brute force protection, right? It's super easy to just get into router and you can put in the password as many times as you want. I mean, what's it going to do?
I have come across a couple where it's too many and it's basically offline for like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is on some, there is some protection, but if someone's super patient and super willing, they'll hit it, once every minute, try to cheat the system to where it doesn't sense it as a too many within a certain amount of time, So,
Right.
yeah. Oh, it looks like he's coming back.
There he is.
There.
the adventures of remote connections.
Did a truck land on your Starlink?
Truck got between two of the wireless points out here, so wireless bridge went down. It's back up. So remind me to bring Starlink next time.
Cool.
Where did I leave off?
You were about to say something really fascinating, and then we lost you.
Extremely profound.
Very profound. Well, unfortunately, that moment has passed. Those words can never be repeated with the same impact.
We're going to lose him again.
Too
We're about
bad
to
it was
lose you
lost.
again.
Irony.
Probably. Well, I'm not repeating it more than twice. How about that?
Yeah. I think we should
Be
probably
like, yeah.
call it good then.
I think so. Guys, I'm about to lose my connection in a big way. Well, I mean, stay educated on this stuff, right? That's the number one thing. Whether you hand $100 to Home Depot to buy a thing, or you spend a couple hours of time to learn how to do it yourself, using an ESP32 to control RGB lights, it's going to be the same thing, but you're going to understand one and not trade off your privacy and security for the other. But we'll see what happens. I think we're going to roll to another video after this because keep our podcast at that hour length. I don't know. Artie, what do you think? You're the flight director.
I don't think right now.
Oh, good. Our flight director's not thinking. Well, we'll sign off. Until next time, I'm still going to be John, no matter whether it's next time or not. I will always be John. So until next time, I'm John.
I'm Mike.
I'm Jackson.
I'm out of here.
Have a good night, everybody.